You know how when you think of Alex Ovechkin, you instantly picture him in a Capitals jersey? So what if I told you that the Capitals weren't even the first NHL team to draft Ovechkin? And that in some weird alternate timeline, Ovechkin spent the past 20 years lounging on the beach and scoring goals as a member of the Florida Panthers. So this story takes us back to the 2003 draft, where the Florida Panthers had the number 1 selection. And while the 2003 draft is one of the best of all time, with the first round alone producing 17 All-Stars, the one thing that the 2003 draft class lacked was a true number 1 overall selection who was head and shoulders above the rest. So Florida Panthers GM at the time, Rick Dudley, realized he could trade the number 1 pick and still end up with a great player later on in the draft. And as Dudley and his management team were discussing potential trade partners, someone on his staff remarked that they wished Alex Ovechkin, who was the consensus number 1 pick for next year's draft, was just a couple days older to be qualified for this year's draft. You see, the NHL's draft pool deadline said that only players born on or before September 15th, 1985 would be eligible for the 2003 draft. Ovechkin was born on September 17th, making him 2 days too young to be eligible. Panthers owner Alan Cohen overheard his management discussing these details and decided that he wanted to try and make a case to the league that Ovechkin was actually eligible. Cohen's argument was that the wording in the NHL's collective bargaining agreement did not explicitly say what the NHL considers a year, and that if you were to count leap years, Ovechkin would actually be 4 days older, making him eligible. Now, the Panthers were too nervous to attempt this charade with their first round selection, which was now 3rd overall after making a trade with the Penguins, who drafted Marc-Andre Fleury. So after the Panthers selected Nathan Horton with their 3rd overall pick, Cohen told Dudley that for every Panthers pick for the rest of the draft, he wanted Dudley to select Alex Ovechkin. So in the 2nd round, Dudley goes up and tries to select Ovechkin, but he's told no by Jim Gregory, VP of the NHL. Then in the 3rd round, Dudley goes up again and tries to select Ovechkin and is told no. This time by Coley Campbell, another VP with the NHL. Dudley tries again in the 4th, in the 5th, in the 6th, before finally in the 9th round, Gary Bettman steps in and calls a timeout to officially stop the Panthers' shenanigans, giving the Panthers organization an official slip from the NHL that says they cannot select Alex Ovechkin with their 9th round pick. Ultimately, the Panthers would use their pick to select Tanner Glass, but to this day, there is official documentation from the league that states that in the 9th round of the 2003 NHL Draft, the Panthers selected Alex Ovechkin.